Let's play the last straw game so you can see what it looks like when it's finished. The first thing you should do, of course, is check out this demo of the finished game by clicking the last straw demo right here. But let's take a look at it right now. So if I click New Game, it says how many straws do you want to start with. I'll start with 8. Default is 15. So the goal is to make the other person, now the other person of course is the computer in this case, and I am the human user, to make the computer pick the last straw. You can only pick 1, 2, or 3 straws. Let's see, there are 8 left, so I will pick 3. The computer picked 3, so there are now 2 left, right? Because we each picked 3, so that's 6 from 8 is 2 left. Great. I'm going to pick just 1, and that'll force the computer to pick the last one. So you can see I clicked 1, and the page says, you won. You being me, I won. I picked the last straw. So yes, the computer, I guess being I in this case, picked the last straw, and I won. So you can see, of course, there are now 0 straws left. And if I try to pick now, it says invalid move. There are no straws left. So that's one thing that your program should do, is not let anybody pick straws if there are 0 straws left. You certainly don't want to have negative straws. If I click New Game, of course, it again says how many straws you want to start with. I'll start with, it doesn't matter. I'll start with 10 straws or something. And again, you see how it works. The user picks, then the computer picks, the user picks, the computer picks, the user picks. Oh, well, oh, wait a minute. You won again. I guess I won again. That's great. I'm playing in beginner mode. Now, if you play in advanced mode, now you're going to have to figure out how this works. The computer needs to play with a bit more strategy. So we could try a new game in advanced mode. Start with 15, and I'll just pick randomly here. I'll pick 1. Oh, the computer is clever. See, the computer forced me to pick the last straw. And by the way, it will not let me pick an incorrect amount. If I try to pick 3, it says invalid. 2, of course, is invalid. 1, you lose. You picked the last straw. Right, so you have to figure out what the user selected in terms of the radio button, beginner or advanced, and make the computer play smarter in advanced mode. So here again are the rules for you. Right on the web page here, the user plays against the computer. The user selects how many straws to start with, something greater than 0, and your program should check to make sure that the computer has not, that the user has not entered something invalid for the number of straws, like pizza or -5 or something like that. The computer is then supposed to determine who begins. Now that should be random. So sometimes the computer will start, sometimes it'll tell the user to start the play. And then each player moves one at a time, picking straws, don't allow illegal moves, and then at the end it should say who wins. So I gave you some starting code here. If you look at the page source, and I'll do that right now for a minute. So behind this, I gave you some starting code. I wrote the whole form for you, so you don't have to worry about creating the buttons and so forth. The only thing you really have to do is complete 3 functions. One function, which is this new game function. When the user clicks new game, obviously, it asks the user how many straws they want to start with, make sure they don't enter anything invalid. Then you have to write the function for pick, which either takes as input, it's the number of straws the user clicked on. So in other words, if the user clicks the button that says pick 1, the number 1 is passed to that function. If they click this button, 2 is passed. If they click this button, 3 is passed. So based on what the user picks, what the user clicks on, straws picked will either be the number 1, 2, or 3, and then you have to complete the function to subtract that number of straws, make sure it's a legal move, and then at the end you're going to call the computer pick function, which is right down here, and then have the computer either randomly select how many straws to pick, or you have to figure out whether the advanced mode was selected, in which case you're going to have to make a little bit more of an advanced strategy so that the computer plays a little bit smarter. Anyway, I gave you lots of code to get started, and I wrote lots of comments here. Read my comments carefully. They are hints for you. I know sometimes students want to just delete all my comments, or delete all this. Read them, don't delete them. Read them carefully. They are put there to help you get started with your program. So this should be sufficient to get you going. And it's a little bit of a tricky program, but I know you can do it.